Hello, everyone, and welcome to Happy TV's newest segment, Happy TV Reacts. It's your girl, Ife Sams, host of the show, Are You Happy? And New York State certified peer specialist. Welcome. I wanted to do this because I thought, how interesting would it be to have just a regular human react to some kind of clinical mental health based video. The first episode of Are You Happy has the diagnosis of the day as major depressive disorder. So I thought, how interesting would it be to react to a video teaching people how to diagnose people with depression. I thought this would be interesting because I think a regular person probably doesn't have a lot of insight into how exactly these things are diagnosed, what people actually look for, how is a doctor being trained to look at and look for particular signs, and what signs are they looking for. And I think as a human being, reacting to this, it's going to be really interesting to see what is it that's important to somebody who's diagnosing this. Let me know if you like this kind of video. Let me know if I did a good job. Let me know if you want to see other React videos. Let me know what kind of React videos you want me to make. What kind of send me some links to more videos you want me to react to. Isn't that how it works? Happy TV, I think, is really trying to humanize mental health by turning from this medical symptomatic approach to mental health towards a human and empathetic approach where we talk about people as people. We talk about people as having a heart, having a soul, having a spirit, having a background and a history, and also having reasons for things that aren't biological. So reasons for things meaning, looking into the heart of the person and why they might be experiencing what they are, where the genesis of it is not biological. The genesis of it is not stemming from some, cells or chemicals, where the genesis of things could be things like experiences, like upbringing, like parents, like childhood, like things going back generations, not because of DNA per se, but because of something that's human in our experiences, where we can actually identify and say, well, these are areas where there's beliefs there that are being passed down. There is culture that's being passed down, and there are things that, while they can be positive, they could also be very negative and create certain circumstances that are tough to deal with. So let's go right into it. So this is a video that I found from Khan Academy. And Khan Academy does videos on a lot of different subjects. But Khan Academy is here now teaching on how to diagnose depression. What are some things to look for? So I've never seen this before. I've just, prayed and searched the web. So let's get right into it and let's see what this video has to offer. Why don't we?
I want to take a minute to talk about how clinicians diagnose depression. Or put a different way, I want to talk about how clinicians can separate depression from normal and appropriate emotional responses. And they do this by using the DSM-5, which is the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual of Mental Disorders. And this manual outlines the criteria that someone has to have in order to be diagnosed with depression. And there are 9 different criteria that I want to focus on in this video. The first criteria is that they must have a depressed mood every day for most of the day, and this has to last over an extended period of time. And whether or not someone actually has a depressed mood is something that can be determined with self-report, but it can also be determined by observations from people around them or by the clinician.
So I just want to go into what this woman was saying in the beginning, which is they're trying to figure out how to parse between something that is regular, so a normal response, and a not normal response. So the not normal response is going to be what's going to make someone diagnosable with depression, which I think is an interesting thing to say. And also what they talk about here, which is you have a depressed mood for most of the day, but it could be something that the person says that they feel that they're depressed most of the day, or not necessarily that the person is saying that, but that a family member is saying that this person is depressed most of the day. I just thought that was interesting. Anyway, let's keep going.
Depression is also associated with a number of cognitive symptoms, and this could include intense feelings of worthlessness and guilt. So feeling like you won't amount to anything, or not understanding why anyone would even want to be friends with you. And of course, this can lead them to not going out with their friends, and then feelings of guilt for not calling, and so this can kind of become a cycle.
I think that's interesting too, because that's something we talked about in the first episode, is the irritability that people experience and why. What are the human reasons, the ideas that my friends don't like me, and so I isolate. I think that she kind of rushed over that part. I wish that she would have really gotten into it a little bit more, but it's okay. Let's continue.
Next part might surprise you, but depression also has a number of physical symptoms. It doesn't just impact people on a psychological level. So there could be significant changes in weight, The last physical symptom I want to mention is fatigue, or a loss of energy, or feeling like they don't have the energy to do the tasks that they like, much less the tasks that they have to do, the tasks that need to get done. So these are the symptoms of depression as listed in the DSM-5.
Well, great. I think that this is really, really great. So I think that there's a clear distinction here. When we talk about clinical depression, we're talking about a list of symptoms. So how it's being diagnosed, we're learning here together that this is a list of symptoms that a diagnosing professional is going to look through and say, well, these are the things that are going on the surface. And so all of these things together equal depression. I don't know. I'm fascinated by that. Are you? I think it's interesting because I think I'm just going to say it, that there are these things that are going on the surface, and a doctor, we might look at a doctor as having all of these answers. However, the doctor just understands the symptoms when put together equal this clinical diagnosis. So when we talk about, though, human beings have reasons. There are going to be reasons, and that's how healing happens, is the exploration of the reasons why. Asking the question, why is this happening? And unfortunately, I think that clinicians, for the most part, are well-meaning. But it's important for us to recognize that they're trained a particular way. Clinicians are trained to look at symptoms. They're not necessarily trained to get deeper in a soul realm type of way. And, this is where the world will say, therapy is very important, psychology is very important. And Happy TV, we are reaching out to the Church of Jesus Christ to say, Church, we want to get deeper than the symptoms. What's on the surface is simply that. It's on the surface, and we can see that people are going through these things. Maybe they're fatigued. Maybe they look like they're depressed. How about but church, look, we are in a position not to just look at what's on the surface. We might see someone change and we might feel worried for them, but what are we doing with that? Are we just expressing to this person that they should go to the doctor? Are we coming around this person and supporting them? Are we giving them the space to talk about what's going on with them? Because this is important. I mean, I could say, let me just send you to someone who's a diagnosing professional because I'm not a diagnosing professional. But look, this is what's going to happen. The diagnosing professional is going to see what's on the surface, and the diagnosing professional is going to go along with what they believe is the solution. And now, though, we also know, because studies tell us this, that community involvement is absolutely essential to someone healing. So if a clinician is going to send this person right back to you, you already see that they're depressed, or you see that they're going through it. And they're going to be sent right back to you if you send them to a clinician anyway. Can we learn and really pray about supporting this person, getting around them, talking to them, giving them the space, encouraging them with our words, coming around them in that kind of encouraging and supportive way, encouraging them that you're going to be there with them, things that they're overwhelmed with. Can we go through this list and see what are some of the things, some of the reasons that someone might feel this way? What are some of the reasons why someone might feel worthless? What are the reasons someone might feel guilty? Guilt doesn't come from God, does it? What are the reasons someone might be fatigued? I can think about times when I have been so overwhelmed that I just feel like I can't do anything. I just don't want to do anything. I just want to sleep. Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt really overwhelmed? Do you know what it's like to feel overwhelmed? Do you know what it's like to feel stressed? What do we think this is? Sounds like stress to me. Which is something that absolutely comes along. Well, let's see. We're about 2 minutes left in this video. Let's see what else they've got to offer.
In this world of mental health, all these labels and diagnoses, understanding it all seems so grim. However will I comprehend it? How must I support people through it?
Hey, you! Yeah, you! Down here!
Yes?
Tell me something. What you know about depression?
Is that when you're sad?
Pathetic! How about bipolar disorder? Schizophrenia? Borderline personality? Come on! What you gonna do with all that ignorance?
I guess not much.
Nothing! The church was called to be a vehicle of freedom for people with struggles in the mental health. Not ignorance, pushing it off, saying, oh, let a doctor handle that. No! You handle it! Don't worry, kid. Are You Happy can help. Here, take this.
Season 1 of Are You Happy needs your help to make it happen. Consider becoming a donor today to our crowdfunding campaign and help make the church a place of healing and hope for people who struggle with their mental health.
You be careful with that now. Side effects include enlightenment, empowerment, and self-awareness.
Become empowered today. Donate to Happy TV this summer.
You know what, kid? You'll be all right.
So tell me, won't you tell me, are you happy?
And of course, as our understanding of depression increases, our knowledge about how to diagnose it and how to treat it will also continue to evolve.
Oh, right. Wow. Okay, so that was a lot. Whew, I had a hard time concentrating to that video. Whew, all right. So what you guys think? Do you think that this is an interesting topic to get into? More of like learning about what's the clinical approach to diagnosing these things? Because I'll tell you what, in my own experience going through a crisis in my mental health, when I was at church, and, I served in multiple ministries. I was a leader in multiple ministries. And, I suppose I believed myself to be part of the inner circle of members at the church I was going through. However, I absolutely 100% slipped through the cracks because it seemed like, not only did I not seem to know I was going through a crisis at the time, but other people around me didn't seem to recognize that I was going through a crisis either. It was really only my closest family members who I lived with who actually recognized that something was wrong, very wrong. And I went to the doctor, and in my experience going to the doctor, I went to the doctor with this idea that the doctor's going to tell me what's wrong with me. The doctor's going to be able to understand and help me and give me some understanding into what's going on. And I tell you what, going to the doctor was a very important experience for me to be aware of the fact that I wasn't just healthy and I wasn't having a very healthy response to my environment. However, I also recognized that going to the doctor did not answer my questions. All right. I got some solutions from a clinical approach, but those clinical approaches were not actually long-term solutions. And just like we just looked at in this video, those clinical approaches have to do with what's on the surface. So the clinical solutions are also going to deal with what's on the surface, my friends. So, this is something to definitely talk about. One thing I do want to say is a lot of people who go through, receiving services in mental health from a clinical standpoint, which typically includes therapy plus medications, will say, well, I can't get up and go to work without my medication. And I completely understand that experience. I also want to challenge the fact that this might be something that might target that surface symptom. However, if we're talking about people who want to heal long term, I mean, being in a lifestyle of healing, that means every time there's something that might come up to the surface, I'm addressing it because now I recognize that this is something that's going on. I can walk in that healing as the Lord shows me, step by step, trial by trial. I can continue to walk in healing and continue to practice that and continue to experience that. It's amazing. But at the same time, too, let's recognize that continuing to address only what's on the surface in any means that we try will only touch the surface and is not going to go deeper than that. What I think is important is that we have a real understanding of what a clinician's understanding is. If I don't understand what a clinician understands versus what they do not understand, I will have an idea about doctors that I really should not be having. And it was a rude awakening for me when I went into the field of mental health as a patient, and also when I went into the field of mental health as a service provider, because I realized just how limited doctors actually are in their understanding of what people are going through. I'll tell you what, I learned at a very young age that it is important to view doctors as people who just get it. Doctors are just people who understand what's going on with you. And unfortunately, the truth is that that's not true. Doctors are not superhuman. Doctors do not know everything. And doctors are certainly not always correct. Just like any other person. And I had to realize that. It made me very upset to realize that. Because that meant that all these things that I had been taught to believe about people were not true. That's okay. Anywhoosies, so that was Happy TV Reacts, our first episode where I talked about clinical Khan Academy's clinical depression, diagnosing clinical depression video, and we kind of got into it a little bit. How did you guys like that? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just walking in it. All right. Anywho, so let's see. What can I bring up here? Anywho, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. And like I said, let us know what are some of the things that you would like for me to cover next. Leave a comment. Do you know of any videos that are related to mental health? Any kind of videos related to mental health that you think would be interesting to have just a regular human watch and react to? A regular human meaning this human. This human. I would love to watch and react to those videos. If you have any ideas of other videos that I can be making, I'm telling you, in the month of July and August, we will be crowdfunding so that we can create the first season of Are You Happy? If you liked the first episode of Are You Happy and you want to see more episodes, be sure to join our crowdfunding campaign because we need you. We need your help. We need you to tell your friends about Are You Happy? We need you to spread the word because we are humanizing mental health one diagnosis at a time. We are taking the most commonly diagnosed mental illnesses and we are breaking it down to getting underneath the symptoms, down to the human experiences, and we are exposing some hidden things that might not have been known to a regular person. Let's go through that together. Let's expose how the enemy gets into our thought patterns. Let's expose how the enemy gets into our beliefs. And let's expose what the Lord wants to bring to us, which is increasing our awareness, giving us the tools necessary to fight. So we need you. We want to make the church a place of healing and hope. for people who struggle with their mental health. So join us. Give to Happy TV. In the months of July and August, we'll be doing our crowdfunding. So stay tuned for more information on that. And in the meantime, I will be doing this kind of content. We'll be doing just fun, interactive content. So please like and comment and subscribe and reach out. Let me know what else you want to see. I definitely need you. Please help me. Pray for your girl. Pray for your girl. All right. Well, that's that. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been Happy TV Reacts. I'm Ife. Okay. My name is Ife. So I'll talk to you later. Bye 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 bye.